self-join I'm going to explain in this session with hands-on, and I will take your common questions, and also we will go through Q&A where the people has written their questions, right? We will try to discuss few of questions after that. If possible, we'll also discuss some other topic. We'll see based on the time which we get today. Yes, Subramanya, go ahead. What's your question?
Is it right time to
Speak loudly, yeah.
is it right time to shift our current job to other domain? Like,
I don't recommend at this moment. At least if you wait till this month, till this year end, then that may be good. That's what I'm thinking. Um, See, situation is still not good outside of the market, especially outside of the India. If you feel your job is safe in your current company, then stay a few months, okay, till you get some positive news from the market. Okay, so
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
got
it
it.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Till the end of year, it is going to
See, that is what
continue.
my expectation. See, idea is still you can also get a job, but there might be a problem where if the company which you got an offer, you may join based on the offer letter which you received, and after that, if the company is not performing well, then obviously they will look into a cost cutting, right? In that case, they will concentrate on the new joiners, not on existing. So that case we may in trouble.
Okay.
So it's not recommended in this year to shift the job. So wait for a few months. And meanwhile, if you're really interested to shift, then better you skill up and get a required experience which you are aiming for. Right?
Okay.
Right.
Hi, Naresh. I have some questions about the memory allocation. Okay, so maybe after you
Mhm.
complete the join, I will ask that. I have a couple of questions.
Okay. So have you written that questions?
Yeah, I have that questions. Maybe
Your
I can.
name?
Sendil.
Sorry?
Sendil.
Okay, Senthil. Okay, Senthil. Okay, you're the one you messaged me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, problem. Okay, guys, quickly first we'll complete the joint concept and then move to question, right? So fine, no problem. Let me share my screen. So guys, to save some time, just I taken a sample data. So this is a sample data, some records. Okay, a total 5 records are there. Where where this is an employee ID, employee name, and his manager ID, and then a city of the employee. Okay, and so on. Right. So this is a schema, right? EID, name, MID. MID means manager ID, EID means employee ID. Okay. So manager is also employee. Okay, don't worry. And this is another way of creating a data frame. Okay, if you have a data something like this, then we can also use this syntax to create a data frame. We saw one type of a data frame creation in our previous session, right? So in this session we are seeing a little different way, right? No problem. So let me just run this. Okay, and okay, it is completed, and I'm running second one. It is also completed, and then let me create a data frame. Okay, that is also completed. You know, right? We can check the data, something like this. Okay. See, generally, I no need to discuss all these things. I can directly jump into concept, a self-join concept. But I just want to show you a method to create a data frame. Okay, because you may not get any surprises when you join any company. If they write something like this, then in that at that moment you may not get any surprises, right? So this is the data. Employees see this and their names and their reporting boss or a manager, and employees city. Okay, so if you see, if you observe clearly, 104 Rahul, who is his manager ID? 104. Sorry, 101 is a Rahul employee ID, but employee ID of a manager is 104. Who is 104? Ruman, right? So Ruman is a manager for Rahul, correct? The same way, John. John, who is his boss? 105. Who is 105? Sandesh. Sandesh is the manager for John. And Chris. Chris, for Chris, who is the manager? John, right? For Chris, John is a manager, right? And so on. So I want an output dot employee ID, name, and manager name. That is what I want to get the output. So in this case, how to achieve? If this kind of details we need, then generally we use self join. Okay, so there is no concept called self join, but this is the only terminology that we will use, right? So inner join, left join, right join, these kind of joins we already discussed. We know how to write a syntax for the same. Here also we will use a left join only to get the output, but this table we will use one more time. Okay, so I will tell you how we will achieve this target. Okay, now let me quickly open one paint, because I don't want to give you a confusion. So I'm just taking this table. Okay, I will duplicate it. Okay, so what I will do, this table, I will call it as employee, and the same table only, I will give some alias manager. Manager. Now what I want something like this. This is, and here I want names. What names? So who is Rahul boss? 104, right? Ruman. Ruman. And John, Sandesh, right? Sandesh. So Chris is John, right? John. And for Ruman it is 104. Sorry, 107. 107 is not there. So we may get null. Okay. And then Sandesh. Sandesh boss is 104. Who is 104? Ruman. Again Ruman. Okay. So this is what I want. Okay. Employee and his boss. Right. So how to achieve this? To achieve this, it is simple. I will take, we will join on what columns? We will join. Let me just do this. I will join on this column versus this column. Guys, are you able to understand?
Yes, it is clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good. So if you are able to understand, that's it. No need to do much thing. Okay, let me go to. Okay, so now I will across underscore join whatever name you can give equal to what is this employee emp underscore df. I just want to change the name. Okay, to change the name we can use alias, right? You know syntax. Syntax is very easy. I already discussed. Okay, syntax, join syntax. Table 1 dot join table 2 comma joining condition comma join type, right? So this is a syntax, right? We will follow the same. Okay, I written this only for your understanding purpose, but we will delete this sentence later. Okay, now table 1 is we given table 1, and what is next? Join, and then table 2. What is the table 2? Again emp underscore df alias I will use manager. Okay, I will type it as manager. Okay, so a table 2 I will give as a manager. Table 1 is a EMP, right? And then what next? Joining condition, right? Call. What is the joining condition? You people can tell. EMP dot MID equal to manager dot EID, right? This is what we required. I will write the same. EMP dot MID. I have to put it in double quotes. Okay. Equal to call manager dot EID. That is what we discussed. And then join type, right? Join type is left join. You can also give inner join, but if you do inner join, you may miss 1 or 2 records based on the data. But let me take a left join. Okay. So yes, we completed. Now I want a specific columns, not all the columns. Okay. I want only specific columns. And select what columns I want from EMP table, EMP dot EID. Okay. I have to use another bracket because we are selecting multiple, right? Okay. Comma, call, sorry, we have to use call as well. Call and EMP dot name, comma. Then I directly go with a manager name. I just want a manager name. What I have to do? It's a manager dot what manager dot name only. No?
Name.
Okay. So what I will do, I will just change this column name as alias manager name. Okay, and I will close it. That's it. Sure. So now I will delete this. Can anyone guess if I run this, what may be the output? Shall we get output?
Oh no, actually it has showed, so we should need to store this data without show.
Sorry. Okay, without show, can I get an output now? Will it run successful? First of all, this block will run successful or not?
Without show, it will be assigned to data frame.
Okay, first of all, what may be the output? Will it run successful or not? Will this window will run successful or not? It will throw an error because call is not defined. Call we have used function, right? We have to use import. We have to import that call function. So from PySpark dot SQL dot functions import call. Okay. Let me also do a show here directly, or we will show later. Okay. Let me create a data frame. Right now it ran. What we will do just to show the data. Display. That's it. See, same output we got it, right?
Yeah.
Hope this is clear. Self join.
Yes, Naresh.
Great. Okay, I think we covered self join. Right, guys. Next, I will open the questions. Okay. There are many questions. Okay. We'll take latest first. And where is Senthil? Senthil, where you written your name?
No, I haven't posted in this forum. Like maybe.
Senthil, you are advised to write your questions here.
Okay.
Before that, I strongly recommend everyone before writing questions here, please try to explore yourself first in Google. Still, if you have any questions or a doubts or a confusion, then you can always write here and discuss in our class, so that if I am able to answer it, definitely I will try to clarify. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
tell me, Senthil, what's your question? Or can you please see, is there anything is relevant to your expected question here? We'll go with that first.
Yeah. Maybe you can go with that first. First 15 minutes, and then I will ask that question.
Okay.
Anything is
No
fine.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay. So some questions we will take it. Let me. Okay. I will come from the bottom. Okay. So how can we know the number of nodes present in a cluster along with their configuration? See, this is a valid question because sometimes interviewer may be asked this question as well. Okay, you can expect. As a developer, we supposed to have a knowledge how many clusters we are available or how many environments we have. In sense like what I want to say is, you know, right? Development environment and testing and a PT performance testing and pre-prod, prod, disaster recovery. There are multiple environment generally companies will have. Okay, if they are not using a cloud, if they are using on-prem, so generally they maintain this kind of environment. Majorly dev, testing, and prod. Okay, and some companies will also maintain extra, that is pre-production. Some companies are also using disaster recovery, DR. Okay, you no need to worry all about it, but we will I already discussed in one of my video in detail all of all these 3 or 4 environment I already discussed. Okay. Coming to this question, either we can contact admin who are maintaining their clusters. Okay, and they will try to give us, okay, a total number of nodes and its configuration. Okay, and it is good to know, that while you decide number of codes or memory or nodes, right, you supposed to have some idea. Okay, but again I'm telling you, as a developer you are not the responsible person. Okay, you have to just based on the requirement, business requirement, you have to decide and then ask admin to allocate. Okay, because there are several concepts that admin generally use. They will create some pools. Let us say a company is having 10 projects, right? Out of 10 projects, 2 projects are very, very important. That means what they will do is, if they have 100 nodes, then they may dedicate 30 nodes only for 2 projects and remaining 70 nodes for rest of the 8 projects. That means they will create some pool. Okay, let us say they created one pool. Okay, one pool is having 30 and rest all pool is 70. So if AM belongs to one project which is very, very important, I will ask to admin that these jobs should run the pool 1, because pool 1 is always up and running and very high configuration, right? So there are multiple clusters, we can say, in prod or pools where jobs will run. Okay, so if you get this kind of question in interview, you can say two answers. One is, sorry, I don't know, but we will determine how many cores that we required, how many executors or how much memory it is required. This is admin's task who will take care of. This is one type of answer. The second one is, you should have the number of clusters or number of nodes and its configuration and tell the answers. So which one is more appropriate or which one is more suggestible is second option only. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yeah, yes, Naresh.
Right. Okay, so what are the data cleaning activities we'll do on a raw data before converting into table? It's okay, we already discussed this topic many times.
Naresh, sorry to disturb you. like one you told like the admin can take care of. Another one is like I'm not sure like about the another one.
Another one is you have to get the information from the client, sorry, from the admin.
Okay.
Okay, let us
So,
say.
but that is not like the questionnaire will ask like interviewer will ask like in your last project like or in your project like what was the configuration that you got from that admin
Okay,
like.
let me tell you. Let me tell example. So we have a in one dedicated video is there in our playlist. Okay, so you can go through it and you will get it. Otherwise, quickly I will tell you. Prod. Let us say prod. We have let us say we have 75 nodes. Okay, 75 nodes. Out of 75, let us say 3 are master nodes. Master in a sense, it could be name node, or yon master services. Okay, all master services will run in this node. Okay, and 72 are data nodes. Guys, this is actual figure. Don't worry. This is not an example. Okay, this is one of the companies using this kind of a structure. Okay, it's not a form. Okay, 75 is not a form. They can increase, they can decrease, but to get an idea, I'm just telling you. So what may be the configuration? I will tell you. It is 16 core, 4 GB or 128 GB memory. Okay, and hard disk. It is a sometimes they may use SSD. Sometimes they may use HDD also. Okay, or maybe 1 TB. 1 TB SSD. You can mention it. Okay, all the nodes. Okay, all the node configuration is something like this. You got it?
So here, sorry to disturb. Like here, the 1 TB is the data being processed, and 64 GB or 128 GB is per node the memory, right? Like the executor memory.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But
You can
Naresh,
consider. Mhm.
here question is from where will we get the node numbers? So from which configuration we would get that number? Can we can ask admin or
We can
anywhere
ask
else?
admin. That's what I'm saying. We can ask admin. I don't know because maybe Hadoop admin, if there are any people in the call, can say. But ideally, I'm not sure whether we have a command where when we run that command into a shell, then we will get the number of nodes. I don't think. There may be some commands, but I'm not aware. But generally, how we know, we will contact admin where we will get some sheet. Okay, some Excel sheet where we will get up all the prod testing. Yeah, testing is a QA. We can say QA and dev. This is what we generally standard practice. Okay, so right, we will develop testing is very less nodes. Okay, not even 16 also, but why I given a 16 nodes because multiple team members may work on here, right? Maybe one master or two master nodes, and rest 14 or data nodes or slave nodes.
Okay, Naresh,
So
thank you.
and here configuration and let us say here maybe different. Okay, they may not maintain the same. It's here maybe HDD, they may use HDD, not SSD. SSD is not required. Okay, and let us say it is 1 TB and this may be a 64 GB. Okay, this may be a 64 GB, and in production, right, 128 or 256 also they will use. Okay, some of the nodes is also having a 256. Here maybe 8 codes also they will use. Okay, so the same thing will be happen for testing environment also. Okay, let us say testing is having 21. Out of 21, 2 and you can say 19 or whatever you can call it. 19. Getting me, guys?
Yes,
Is it
yes,
clear?
Naresh.
Yeah.
You can say this straight away. You can say this. Nobody will argue because this is what is happening currently. Okay, if you people are using Hadoop cluster, then you can go ahead and say. But in between, there is one more, that is PT. Why PT is like here, we will test with a sample data, right? Unit testing. We will do whether our code is working properly or not by using some sample. But let us say we want to design an application or a job to process a 1 TB of data or 10 TB of data. Then we cannot test it, right? We cannot test it in dev or testing environment, right? So that to test the performance, there is almost equivalent to prod, not exactly the prod, but pre-prod or PT. This is also will be there, okay? Without this, people won't do PT. PT is performance testing. Performance, whether our job, how much time it will take. We will do with the actual data, okay? 10 TB of data we will test. So here need not be the same, but maybe 45 nodes or 42 nodes, okay? Still people are joining here. Mm, Okay, so 42 nodes, right? So out of 42 nodes, the same way you can go 40 and 2 or masters, you can understand something like this. So configuration may be almost equal because number of nodes are the matter. And here also they will use SSD because they want to test it right, performance. So this is used only for a performance, okay? So you can say this.
Naresh, those two masters or three masters available in the same cluster, those can be
Same
available in the
cluster,
same cluster?
same cluster, same cluster.
Okay, okay.
Same cluster. And for your information, up to this level, as if you are attending an interview for a developer, this much knowledge is a must and should. uh, if you are attending an interview for admin, then they will go in depth, okay? And what I want to convey here is you no need to go into a deeper, okay? As a developer, this much is enough, okay? Right, these are the nodes, and inside the nodes, how many executors are will be created and all, we will discuss that point also, okay? So let me go to our questions again. And what are the data cleaning activities? Okay, let me quickly. So data cleaning activities, okay? I have already told you these concepts multiple times, but I may miss something, but whatever I remember, I will try to, first of all, we'll see, um, you know, file format. File format check whether expected file format is coming or not, okay? File format check. Next, um, file name check. Yes, whether as per whatever we have some standard practice, right? So if the files are coming on a standard name or not, okay? Next is count, okay? Generally we also do a count number of files, okay? Say file count, file count, count, sources, target directory. Sorry, 4. Next, mm, row count, okay? File row count, row or records count. Records count, because we have to know, right? Let us say if a source table is having 100 records, once we fetch that 100 records, once we fetch the particular file into our target system, we have to check whether we received 100 records or not, right? So that kind of check also we have to do. And then let us say there are 100 records. Out of 100 records, somehow we got 10 records are corrupted, okay, or that means all null values, okay. If 10 records got corrupted or 10%, I will write some condition that if my file is having more than 5% corrupted records, then reject it. Okay. So corrupted records check. Okay. So that is, sorry, again I missed the count. This is a fifth, and then uh, uh, duplicate check, duplicates, and column name check. Okay. And schema. Schema means I mean schema or data types. Okay. Data type. Right. And white spaces. Okay. So we will do a trim function to trim the data. And see, these are cleaning activities, but we also do some adding new column, and changing the column name. Okay. Guys, anything else in your mind? Let us say null value. We want to fill some with some average value or some static value. Filling missing values. So these are the some of the activities we generally do. Is it clear?
Yeah, thanks, Naresh. Having one question. So
Yes.
in the fifth one, corrupted record. So it's a flat file. So like it is raw data. So how we will and get to know which record is corrupted?
See, whatever, let me tell you, whatever I mentioned here are very generic. Okay. So it need not be applicable for a raw data, right? So once we get a raw data, then you will definitely clean the data and maybe create a data frame. Correct? Agree? After
Yes, yes,
creating a
yes,
data
yes.
frame, then you can check how many records got corrupted. Correct?
Okay. Yes, yes, Naresh.
Okay. Fine. Guys, is this clear? Is this topic is clear? I think yes.
Yes, Naresh.
Great. All right. So, okay. What are the key Spark submit parameters? How to configure them based on the input file size? Okay. See, guys, this is very and easy. We can say if you write something in Google Spark submit, Spark submit. Take any one, or you can also take a reference of. See this Spark submit master. You have to mention. Okay, if we are submitting an application in without a yarn, you have to mention the master URL. If you are using a yarn, then you have to mention yarn. Okay, this is a yarn. Deployment mode might be a client or cluster. In our development environment, generally we will write client, but if in a production or a pre-prod, we have to use a cluster. And these are the optional, and you will see if you go through or down. And driver memory and executor memory and executor codes. And then if you created a jar file, you have to give a jar file its dependencies. And if it is a Python file, you can simply provide the path and the Python file. If you created a class with a jar file, you have to mention the class. Okay. So this is an example. See, this is an example. Let us say there is a jar they created, and deployment mode cluster, master yarn, and they have used a class name called this that they have submitted. But if you want to submit a Python file, that means .py file, then you no need to mention all these things. Okay, you no need to mention this class directly. You can put path and then you can run. That's what we currently doing. Okay, So, and this is an example. If you see, yarn cluster, driver memory 8 GB, executor memory and 16 GB, executor codes 2, and that's it. Okay. So here you are able to get some answers, right? Not completely, but yeah, I can agree. So what are the key Spark submit parameters? I think this will give an idea. These are the key submit parameters. Okay. What I will do, I will put this here so that in future you can reference. And how to configure them based on our input dataset of 10 GB. Fine. How many, how many of you know the answer? Or how many want answer for this?
Yeah, if we want that answer.
See, there is no fixed, okay, there is no fixed answer, but based on the data, we have to define, okay, and also based on the cluster resource availability, we have to decide, okay. So let me give you a sample, okay. If it is 1024 MB, so what is that? That is 1 GB, right? Agree?
Yeah.
Fine. So how many splits will be created in 1024 MB? How many partitions will be created, or how many splits will be created under this this data?
Sir, as per block size 128 MB.
How many? Come on. Is it
8, Naresh. 8.
8 splits. Okay. So this is a 1 GB, right? This is a 1 GB. This is 1 GB. Okay. If it is a 10 GB, what is that? If it is a 10 GB,
80.
correct. 80 splits or partitions. Partitions. These are the default, okay. We can change the number of partitions, okay. Partitions equal to tasks. How will Spark will decide? Like this. Now 80 tasks are there, okay. Now we have to give this 80 task. See, driver will do all this exercise, okay. The driver will decide a number of tasks and send it to a executor to execute the task, right? So up to here, you're fine, right? No confusion, right, guys?
Yes, no
Yeah,
confusion.
clear, Naresh.
Please proceed.
Great. Again, I will go back to here. So let us assume, I will take this as an example, okay. So I will take this. I will take this, and let us say we have how many? We have 16, right? Sorry, 16 or yeah, 16 nodes. Okay, 16 node cluster. Then I want to execute this task. Then how I want to decide? Number of executors or number of memory? How I decide? But I have a 80 task. Okay. Now customer told me that to execute this task, let us say in Spark, 80 task. Let us say each task is taking 1 minute. How many minutes it will take? If only one executor is there, then how many minutes it will take?
80 minutes.
I want answer from others also. If there are two executors, not two executors, we can say, okay, two executors. Two executors are threads. I can say. I will tell you. You have to get more clarity. Take one node. This is one node. One node. What is this? The node is this is configuration is this. Okay. This is the node configuration. So you are aware, right? Node in a sense computer or a CPU, right? So to run OS, how many cores generally it requires? Assume I generally take 4 because if you have a latest version, then it will use a 4. Okay, 4 core I dedicate for and some GB, some 4 GB for only OS. Okay, so now you have only 4 cores because out of 8, 4 already it is using. So now you have only 8 cores, right?
OS to run means that you are saying like it's a overhead memory
No, 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 no. Operating system.
only for operating systems. Okay.
See, every computer is supposed to have its own operating system, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sir, we
So
we give overhead only just because.
no, no. Or you leave it. You don't see. This is the hide. Okay. For your understanding purpose, I'm returning here.
Okay.
So okay. Now we have a. Let us say we have a. Um, let's assume this is a 8 core or 12 core, whatever you think. Okay. Now how many cores are left? 4 cores, right? So I want to create a 2 executors. Okay, 2 executors. 2 executors. Now you tell me, each executor how many cores will get?
Four, 8 executives.
8.
No. So don't get confused. We have total 4 cores, right? So I want to create only 2 executors. That means each executor will have 2 cores, right?
Yes.
Agree?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the same thing here I will write. Mm, let me take. This is one executor. And another one is also I will draw. Okay. Now, since this executor is having, okay, let me write executor 1. Executor 1. Executor is one having total 2 cores, and so that means let me take a task. This is 1, 2, right? So this is a slot. So there is slot 1, and slot 2, right? Because it may allocate 1 core for each slot. Okay. So this executor is having can able to take 2 tasks at a time and run it and execute it. Okay. So what may be the configuration? So let me give you for this. Each executor is having 2 cores. 2 cores. You can decide memory. Okay, it's not a big deal. We have so much memory, right? 60 GB is there. Okay. Now, if there are 2 cores, obviously this executor is having a super memory. Let us say after taking all overheads, 60 is there, right? Let me give 24 GB, or I'm not talking about the overheads here. 30 GB. 2 cores, 30 GB. Generally, it is not, but I'm just to understand you better, I just take an example. Okay. So this executor can execute 2 tasks. Data is maximum, we can say 14 GB, 15 GB also it can execute. Okay, for each slot, right? So this slot may utilize 1 core, 1 GB. Let's assume. Okay, so now so out of 30 GB, it is only using 1 GB because why 1 GB? Maybe our data may be 1 GB. Okay, it's not a 1 GB actually because 128 MB is our size, right? So definitely it will use less than that. Correct? Though 1 GB is available, okay, but it may use only 200 MB. Same executor 2. executor 2, what it will do? And this is also same having one slot 1, slot 2. All right, guys. So now you tell me, out of these two executors, it can run two tasks parallel at a time. Understand? So if we decide to go with only one node with two executors with this configuration, you tell me at a time how many tasks we will run?
4 tasks.
Anyone? Yeah, correct. 4 tasks. So if it if we can say here, that is the reason I stopped here. See, number of executors is little different here. Executor 1 may perform 2 tasks at a time, and executor 2 perform 2 tasks at a time. That means total these two executor together perform 4 tasks at a time. That means, let us say, if we allocate one executor here, one executor means how many tasks? 2 tasks, right? How much time it will finish, guys? Example, how much time it will finish? 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
One task is taking 1 minute, then if two tasks parallel, if they run parallel, then they will finish it in 40 minutes. How many of you understand this? Any questions?
Yeah, miss. Understood, Naresh.
Great.
Uh,
Then I will ask one more question.
so I have one question regarding driver memory and
I will come to that.
okay,
Now, how much time it will take? Approximately how much time?
20 minutes.
Yes. Okay. So now you got right. So how we have to decide number of executor based on the concurrent tasks you have to decide. Okay. So this is one possibility, right? So let me tell you one more case. Let us say if one executor is having, let us say this executor, sorry, this executor is having four slots in it. Then it will run 4 tasks in parallel, right? Getting me?
Yes.
So what I want to convey here is you should not depend on this number of executors. You have to see the number of slots or number of cores which you have assigned to each executor. That is the main important. Getting me? So these are the important, right? These are the inside is the important, right? So this executor may contain multiple cores also. Here only 2 cores. If I assign 4 cores, then it can execute 4 tasks, right? Agree? Okay.
Naresh, like one task is like one core you are saying, right? Like in one
Yes,
core.
yes.
So basically, if you are going to submit a jar application, there are like a lot
Mm.
of transformations and actions. Like there are a
Mm.
lot of like group by join, like we have like RDDs, something like that. So it will
Okay.
be as per DAG, it will be creating like various tasks into multiple stages. So
Mm.
basically, so the question is like, so one core, it will be like even if the memory is more, only one task is performed, or if we have like for example more memory for a task, more memory in the worker node, then will it perform more task parallel? So in one core, only one task that is performed,
Only
right?
one task. Only one
Okay.
task.
So I
That is
have a
useless. See here, there are so much memory is there, but unfortunately there are only 2 cores. So you take only 2 tasks at a time, right?
okay.
Got it?
Okay, but we don't know like how many tasks will be created in a Spark job, right? So based
No, no,
upon
no.
that, we cannot say.
We can. We already. I give an example, right? Here I told you 80 tasks. If it is by default 80, if you can reduce and increase based on I know based on the requirement. Let us say you can use repartition or a coalesce to increase or decrease. Okay. So
Okay.
tell me, let you know one thing here. this is the partition is 128, right? But what is the cluster? This can handle up to 1 GB, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
assume something like that. Okay, 1 GB. So what I can do, I will do a transformation that I will reduce. Okay, I will use a repartition and reduce to how many partitions? And let me I will reduce to 20 partitions, 80 partitions to 80 partitions to this I will write in another 80 partitions to 20 partitions. I will reduce. Why? Because my cluster is having enough memory to process more than 128 MB. Agree? So
Yeah.
if you are reducing to 20, that means into 4, right? What is the into 4? That is 128 into 4. What is that? 512. Correct? 512 MB. You agree?
Yeah.
512 MB also it can able to process easily because we have 1 GB. So 512 MB definitely it will process. Right? Now you tell me if I same task I will send to here. Okay. Now instead of 20, sorry, 80, 20 tasks, how many minutes it will take?
So 20 divided by 4, like
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah.
This is how we have to do a performance tuning based on the cluster resources also job runtime will decide. Agree?
Yeah. So I have a sub question over this. Like, for example, I have like 25 tasks. How will you calculate the number of
Sorry,
executors?
20?
For 25 tasks. So this is a straight question. Like, I have 25 tasks. How will you calculate the number of executors and memory?
Okay, see, 25 tasks, right? Let us say 1 more minute it will take, 1 or 2 minutes it will take. If you use this configuration, whatever I said, this configuration, then 25 tasks it will complete in 6 to 7 minutes. Example, I'm just giving an rough example.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to decide.
But the
Based on
answer
the
they are
resources.
expecting is like how many number of executors. So do we need to do some calculations for that
Yes,
and arrive,
yes.
right?
You tell me, what is your name?
Sendil.
Senthil. So you tell me, let us say, this is a question, right? Let us say this is a question. What is the question? How to configure them based on our input data set of 10 GB, right? This is a question. If an interviewer
Yeah.
asks this question, correct?
Yeah.
Now I explain the 10 GB only, now. So you
Yeah.
decide, no, how many executors? If your cluster configuration is this, then your calculation is this. How many executors? 2 executors with 4 cores. Then my job may complete in 20 minutes, right? With
Yeah.
80 tasks. If I have enough memory in executors, then I can also reduce these partitions into 20 tasks or 20 partitions. Hence, I will execute only 20. In that case, same number of executors will take 5 to 6 minutes. Correct?
Yeah.
This is more than enough. Now you can decide, no. So now you got an answer. How many executors that you decide? 2 is sufficient, right? So here, um, master is Jan, deployment is cluster, driver memory, you can take it any executor memory because driver memory, it's not a big deal. Generally, an executor memory, you can give a driver memory because it is only a process to execute the main method, right? So executor memory is important. Now you decide what is the executor memory in our case.
Sorry, can you go into
See,
that? I forgot.
see, what is the
Yeah.
executor memory? 30 GB, right? We given, but 30
Yeah.
GB
Yeah.
is not required. Okay, we required,
Only 1 GB per core.
but see, per core, right? So executor cores. So number of executor, one is missing here. Number of executor they didn't mention. So you can mention number of executors are 2 and executor cores are 2. You agree? And
Yeah.
now executor memory. Each executor memory is, you can give a 2 GB or 3 GB or 5 GB or 16 GB, whatever you can.
In this case, we can give 16 GB, right?
Why? Why we require 16 GB? You tell me.
We are processing
Why
only
we require
512
16
MB
GB?
data.
Uh,
So we don't need 30 GB, right? We
no,
can
not
have
required. Not required. Not required.
16 GB.
See,
So
no, see, let
we
us say 1 GB we are using. Example, okay? And overhead you give another 20 to 30% extra. That means in my case, 3 GB is enough per executor, or a maximum 4 GB.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. Why I'm saying 4 GB? Maybe some master services run, that is yarn and all. So it may take extra. So in this case, in this case, I will give here 4 GB. Getting me?
4 GB, like per core, we are using 1 GB.
Per
4
executor.
cores per.
Per
Okay.
executor.
Okay.
Executor memory. That means per
Okay. Okay.
executor.
Okay. Only we
Here,
have two
number of executor,
executor.
how many
We
they have taken? How many they have taken? By default, one only. Na? They didn't mention anything. Number of executor, they didn't mention. They mention only course. That means this task, internal task they mentioned, but number of executor they didn't mention. Right? Correct?
Got it, Naresh. One question regarding driver memory in this case itself. So I got a result of, for example, 9 GB data,
It
and
will
I
go
have
to
assigned only
out of
8 GB
memory
data
exception.
to driver
Out
memory.
of memory exception. It will go to
So
out of
that will
memory
go out of
exception.
memory exception, right?
So you can increase. So see, there is no thumb rule here. That's what I'm telling you. There is no fixed calculations to achieve these numbers. Try to understand. Nobody will tell you fixed calculations. That is wrong.
Okay.
So you have to decide based on the requirement. I told you, right? There are several methods, several ways that we have to calculate. Guys, is it clear? Now you got a clarity?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes. So just to reiterate, can
yeah.
you go to the previous screen?
Here or
Yeah,
this one?
anyone. So basically, if I ask you that based on the number of partitions, we decide the number of executors and number of cores, and then the memory we have to provide. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that
So
was
we have
okay.
to do a reverse engineering. Okay. We have to do a reverse
Uh,
engineering based on the data.
Based on the data, we go accordingly. That's all. So
Yes. Yes.
that question is like just
And
confused.
and one more thing, guys, one more thing. If our transformations are involved wide transformations, okay, if our operations are involved wide transformations, then again the time will take more, because right, wide transformation in a sense, it will create another stage where it's supposed to work, let us say group by or addition or something like that, right? Or joins. All this will lead to create a wide transformations. In that case, extra or time it may take. So generally what we people will do is we will give more executors, so that the stage 2 will be handled by an extra executors, so that time will take a lesser time as compared to the normal time. Okay. If there are no wide transformations, if there are only a narrow transformations, then this calculation works fine. But in case of a wide transformation, this calculation, let us say we have a only normal transformation, then entire task took only 5 minutes. But the same operations involve a wide transformations, then it may goes to 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes also, based on the joins or aggregations. Agree?
Okay, agree. Based on the Y
Okay.
transformation. Sir, just one last answer I want to give, just to make sure that I have understood or not. So basically, the question was how many like executors or cores you will run for 25 tasks, right? So I will take the same, say configuration, like two executors, right? 12 and 12, I would say, and then I will assign the same memory, and it will take around about like only this much, 5 minutes or 6 minutes only. Is that correct?
Yes. See, this is only sample, whatever we define. 1 minute, it may be 1 minute per task or 55 seconds, 30 seconds per task, we don't know. But the process is this.
Got your point, sir. Thank you for clarity.
So guys, I think today we almost spend more time. Mm, any last question? Any
Just I
last
want
question?
to check
Yeah.
like so in most of the time like the interviewer will be expect like not the exact num executors but the understanding of like
Yes.
what is the
Yes.
application manager, what is the formula, what is core, like what is the memory overhead, how you are
Mm.
going to plan. So these kind of understanding is mostly expected, right?
Yes. So this
Correct.
is at high level. If you are able to explain this much, it is enough. But if an interviewer interested to go in depth, then I already explained in depth concept. Mm, let me go to um,
There is always a
summarize.
basic calculation everywhere like 16
Yes, 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 yes,
core,
yeah.
and then like we have to 64
Mm.
GB memory
See,
per,
see,
and then how we will calculate it. So
see
that is
this.
everywhere.
Internally, an executor may contain something like this. Okay, so there is a say executor means one node is driving OS as right. OS means operating system. Operating system are having its own memory, that is off heap memory, and executor inside executor we will maintain some on heap memory. Okay, and container is here's slot, whatever I mentioned, right? The slot. So that slot will have a course and memory. This container will execute the task. Okay, so this container may use on heap memory. Okay, on heap memory if for any overheads. If they required any extra memory, then they will use this container, utilize this on heap memory. Like this executor may contain may having multiple container as discussed like this, right? This executor may have this two containers. Here I showed only one container, but an executor contain multiple containers. Okay, so again this node is having half heap memory. Okay, this is an in-depth discussion. I already discussed this topic in my previous session, one of the previous session, PySpark by Naresh. You go and get the concept. Okay, this is a little more depth, but generally people won't ask these questions, but you should be ready with these answers also. So one JVM per executor will be created. In this case, two JVMs under one node. Okay, so this is a little more a deeper explanation. Okay, by seeing this, you may not get complete idea, but if you go through my video where I explained in detail, you come to know. Whoever want a depth explanation. Okay, guys. Okay,
Yes, thank
I
you.
think
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm done
Thanks,
for
sir.
the day. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. Happy nice weekend.